27 All-Star Wrestling will once again return to the Baltimore Civic Center. Scheduled 1 week from tonight, we'll take a look at in tag team competition once again, Alpha Sika, perhaps better known as the Samoans. And we'll also see in Baltimore 1 week from tonight, Mr. Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson, the former Intercontinental Champion, squaring off against the controversial Larry Zbyszko. From there, the Big Cat, the self-professed king of pro wrestlers, will take on the man many regard to be the true king, and that he is the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant. Lad against Andre in what should prove to be a classic confrontation. Notwithstanding, 1 week from tonight, the main event, Bob Backlund defending the World Wrestling Federation title against the #1 contender from Europe, Fred Blassie's Hangman. But right now, our guest, the Grand Wizard, the manager of the Big Cat.
McMahon, Baltimore has always been a lucky town for me. My men and I have won championship matches here, and the magic of the town is going to take. My man, His Serene Highness, His Excellency, Ernie the Cat Ladd, is going to get his wish, his desire. Two great big king-sized athletes, Ladd and Andre the Giant. Ernie Ladd, the better of the two men, the faster of the two men, the more agile of the two men, and certainly the brightest of the two gladiators. This will be, as you said, a classic confrontation, one in which class will tell. The class of the king. Ernie the Cat Ladd will be supreme, and everyone will see Andre the Giant bite the dust at last.
The Grand Wizard of Wrestling, extolling the virtues of the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd. Our guest now, the World Wrestling Federation champion, Bob Backlund, preparing for his upcoming title defense in Baltimore 1 week from tonight, meaning a man about whom you know, well, actually very little compared to some of the opponents you have faced in the past. We're making reference to the European Hangman.
Yes, well, he's done most of his wrestling in Europe, and he's done very well over there. You know, they have big tournaments over there, and he's won, I understand, most of all the tournaments that he's ever been in. And since he's been in the World Wrestling Federation area, he's won all of his matches, and he's really got a winning streak going for himself. So I'm going to have my hands full 1 week from tonight, but I'm going to be ready like I've never been ready before, and I'm not going to let anybody down. I'm going to go in there and give it 100%, and we're going to find out whether there is a escape for that Hangman's hold or not. It's a very devastating hold, and once he gets it applied, it would be just about impossible to get out of. I'm saying just about, Vince, because any hold you can get out of. Wrestling is like a chain, and in the chain there's links and links and links and counters, and so if he does happen to get me in that Hangman's hold, I think I could possibly get out, but it's going to be very, very hard. The best counter for that is just to stay away from it. And like I've said before, it's always a pleasure to beat one of Freddie Blassie's men, because you know he's always thinking about money and money and money. Got all them diamond rings on his fingers, and I know how bad he wants this belt around the Hangman's waist, Vince.
Bob, the best of luck to you in Baltimore.
Thank you, Vince, and I'm surely not going to let anyone down out there, especially those young kids out there.
Thank you. Bob Backlund, the World Wrestling Federation champion, hoping to successfully defend the World Wrestling Federation title in Baltimore 1 week from tonight. Our guest coming into view, Fred Blassie, along with the #1 contender all the way from Europe, the Hangman.
McMahon, you can see these grinders from ear to ear, all smiles. Bob Backlund, I was listening out there to your interview. You're running scared. There's no escape from this Hangman's hold. Many people out there have seen a Western movie. They've seen a guy when he's hung by the neck, his feet just dangle. How you going to do anything when your neck is in a vice like this? And that's what it is when a man applies the Hangman. And I guarantee that's all your feet going to do is dangle. And there's only one thing left. You're going to have to concede and say, I give up, which means that the man standing right here on my right will be the next world champion, giving me the belt, the thing I like more than life itself. I've not said that once. I said that many, many times. But this time I know it's right in my grasp, and we're going to make the most of it. And I guarantee you, Backlund, you're going to be known as the ex-heavyweight champion. Hail the new king, the Hangman.
The Hangman, the #1 contender, meeting Bob Backlund for the World Wrestling Federation title, and Andre the Giant faces the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd. All this and more in Baltimore.